Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Space Headlines. We do a quick recap of the space news each week, and today we're going to be talking about the fourth week of November 2018. Our first story is from China. China just launched a Long March rocket. The rocket was carrying 2 GPS satellites. The launch went fine. It was their 33rd launch for the year, and it paves the way for their upcoming launch of the Chang'e 4, which is a lunar lander with a rover also associated with it, and that launch is scheduled for early December. SpaceX filed a launch application about BFR testing. This is for low altitude testing, 1,500 feet or below, at their Brownsville, Texas spaceport that they've been developing. And they've clarified a little bit the nomenclature about the BFR. The upper stage of BFR is currently called the Starship. And the initial stage, the first stage of BFR, is called the Super Heavy. Also in the news, SpaceX got a loan through Bank of America, put together a package for a $250 million loan for SpaceX. And SpaceX and Elon Musk have had a little bit of a history with Goldman Sachs, and they had talked with Goldman Sachs about doing this loan. But Goldman Sachs wanted provisions that really restricted future debt raises, and SpaceX wanted the ability to raise debt in the future, so they went with Bank of America instead. The thinking is this will enable them to accelerate the BFR. They'll have a little extra money to work with. Great news for NASA on the InSight mission. The InSight lander has reached Mars safely, and it's going to do breakthrough science on Mars. It will be the first probe that can really get down beneath the surface. It will have the ability to reach about 15 feet below the surface to do new kinds of science. And the surface of Mars is very inhospitable to life, with radiation problems, among other things. And many scientists think that if there is or was life on Mars, there might be or traces of prior life beneath the surface. So perhaps InSight can shed a little bit of light on those aspects. Bob Zubrin is talking about the moon, which is kind of neat. I remember when he first came out with the Mars Direct plan. This is Bob Zubrin's Moon Direct plan. This was released, I guess it was about 3 weeks ago now, but it's been in the media, several times since then, so I thought I would talk about it a little bit. The basic premise is that he feels that we don't need the Lunar Orbit Platform Gateway, the LOPG. He thinks this will delay things and add to the costs. He thinks that we can go to the moon on a direct basis, and that this will be faster and it will be cheaper. So instead of doing the LOPG, he wants to build a base on the moon. And his design basically incorporates some SpaceX rockets to make this happen, notably the Falcon Heavy and the Falcon 9. His assertion is that the Falcon Heavy can land about 8.5 tons soft landed on the moon. So he says 2 Falcon Heavies can put an initial base on the moon's surface without LOPG, and that the Falcon 9 can carry people up to the base, and that the base can be used to harvest the water on the moon, the ice on the moon, and then break that ice into its components to make rocket propellants. This is going to be dramatically faster, dramatically cheaper than the current NASA concepts. And I suggest that you check this out. Just Google Moon Direct and you'll see a lot more information. Our last piece this week is that NASA has announced 9 firms that they're selecting for their commercial lunar lander program. This is very small scale landers. It seems that this is going to be for payloads that are like 100 pounds, like 500 pounds. But it's a fairly short time fuse on this. They think that the first missions might launch in 2020, and this will be a step forward to have an affordable way to get small scientific payloads to the lunar surface. That's it for our coverage for the 4th week of November, and we'll see you in a week or so with the 1st week of December. Take care.